Hello gamers and welcome to another Zenless Zone Zero video. I'm GoldDemon12 and today we're going to be going over the 10 biggest changes coming in Zenless Zone Zero version 1.2. Now this isn't the original way I planned to do this video. I was going to do a top 10 list, but all these changes are significant. I thought I'd just put them all together in one video, and so hopefully this helps you be informed about the cool things coming in the next update. Again, there's so many cool and big changes that I can't really rank them against each other, and so I just put them in one big list, so let's hop into it. Change number 1, off-field meters. Starting off strong with change number 1, we have character meter UI. What do I mean by this? Well, you can see that there are meters under each character when you're playing inside the game's combat. An example of this is like El and Joe or Sakaku with their various different charges. Previously in version 1.1, you couldn't see the character's passives or the meters active while they are off-field. Well, now you can. This is an extremely important change for not only telling how many stacks you have for a given character, but also just in general play, as you now no longer have to sit there and wonder, did I stack up with X character? You can now see it at any time. I think this is a huge change. It'll be very helpful for a lot of players. And for one, I think it's great because there is now an easy way to tell how character passives will be in effect, whether they are on or off field. I'm sure this change was primarily made because of characters like Bernice who are getting introduced to the game where their entire combat mechanic is being off field, so it's great to see that they did think about this when going into this version update. And obviously it would have been a major downside to not have this on this character, because then you wouldn't be able to tell when her passive is active. Massive quality of life change, and I'm glad that's being added. New thingy, whatever you want to call it, number 2, the Investigator training course. This is probably one of, if not the biggest one in here, as it's a complete new system to the game, and I think it's really cool. So this thing I think many people probably overlooked when going over the version 1.2 live stream, but there's this new training mode for each character where you can learn more about the character and how they actually play. Not only do I think this is a great thing for all players in terms of rewards and actually being able to understand the character's kits, as you can get rewards, while playing through this, they have the added function of being able to passively grind character XP, which is insane, and I don't think anybody has really talked about this or even was paying attention to realize how big of a thing this is, right? I think a lot of people just completely overlook the fact that you can passively grind for character XP now, which is going to be a huge time saving in terms of resin and other, various things. This will massively change how much energy you have to use to level a character, and as well as how much energy you can spend on other things, because you no longer have to farm as many character experience mats, right? During a snippet of the live stream, you can see that during the Investigator training course screen, there's a box that shows that there's 36,000 experience remaining. Now, we don't know the restrictions on how you are able to use or obtain this character XP at the current moment in time, and or whether or not it has any cooldowns, but it's worth noting that the amount of 36,000 experience is equal to 12 character XP purple thingies, whatever, I don't know what they're called, to be honest with you. To put this in perspective, doing a full run of the HIA training will net you 15 to 20 purple books and about 15 to 20 blue books. This addition to the game could save you about 80 to 60 energy per day, depending on the limitations of this system. I think this is huge because it will add up over time and end up possibly saving you days worth of energy farming for a character. Depending on the limitations of the system, I think this will be one of the best additions of the game overall and massively help out on the daily grind that we all have to go through to level our characters. Additionally, it allows you to use agents you don't even own yet, which is another way for us to trial new characters that we might be interested in. Another cool thing is if you had a keen eye and noticed that there was skill materials for doing different objectives, which just means grinding for characters is going to become even easier. Change thinking number 3, Hollow Zero Blitz. Hollow Zero Blitz is a new mode that allows us to completely avoid the TVs within Hollow Zero, which is great for some, but if you're like me, it's not really a big deal. The real cool part about this mode is the fact that it gives you groups of Rosona, which if I'm not mistaken will allow us to easily build kits for Inferno Reap, which I think is huge and will allow this mode to be a lot more fun for players. I hope this will be the case when the game goes live, as this will be great for testing out what we can do with different Rosona and additionally seeing what we can do with different combinations. They're also adding new modifiers for us to use within Hollow Zero, allowing for new difficult challenges. Also, for those willing to brave the challenge, this will be a faster way for us to build up investigation points, meaning those weekly challenges will just become that much easier. Change number 4, and one of my personal favorites, Fairy Auto Explorer. If I'm going to be real for a second, this might be the best thing they've ever added. I'm one of those people who likes to clear out the whole map. However, there's been multiple cases where I just end up missing a few things or somehow didn't run into them whenever I was doing my initial run. This new feature will allow us to automatically send Fairy to get these items for us, in case you missed something, meaning there's no need to ever repeat levels after clearing it for the first time if you're willing to wait for Fairy to go and get them, with the time that is required changing depending on the amount of items she needs to grab. This is incredible for any of those who are just too lazy, or if you're like me and just happen to miss a couple items, and so this will be a very helpful feature for you. Another cool thing about this is that it's just going to make playing the game easier and more accessible and less stressful than it really has to be. Change number 5, which I know is going to be a fan favorite of many people, is energy backup storage. Yep, that's right. It's in the name. I mean, what do I even have to say about this one? Peakless Pone Bureau? Based Bone Bureau? This is a terrible joke. Why did I even write this in here? Whatever you want to call it, this is an insane change and I'm glad to see it, right? Personally, I would have liked to have seen this at launch. However, I'm not going to complain too much as it's nice that it's finally being added to the game. I'm totally fine with myself logging into the game every day and playing it because it's amazing. For those who aren't or don't have the time, or for those who probably missed something out, this will be great for you as well. You'll be able to save some of that energy that would have overcapped by you not being on the game, and won't have to worry so much about using all of your daily energy because at least some of it will get stored as reserve energy. It's going to be just like Honkai's Startle system, so it's going to be a longer duration to actually store the energy, but it's great for those who, are going to need it, right? I myself probably won't make the most use of it. Great change without much explanation. Change number 6 is team presets. Yes, finally, what we've all been asking for. Once again, this is something I think that should have been at launch, but thank God they're finally adding it to the game. It's fantastic. Love to see it. This is going to be one of the ones where I would have originally put it in the top 3 changes, but I changed the format of the video, so we're just going with this. This is something that everybody wanted and wish was in the game, and it's great to see that they're finally implementing this feature in the version 1.2 update. With the addition of this feature, they're also allowing us to swap teams inside of stuff like Share Your Defense, which is fantastic because this means we no longer have to click on each character individually to change them in and out of that mode. This one, again, I don't think needs much explanation, as having team presets just makes the game even better and more smooth to play, and well, that's all you can really ask for. Change number 7, walking around as our characters in the overworld. Let's be real here. We all know the purpose of this. We just want to walk around as Jane Doe. Like, seriously. Like, it's a fantastic feature. Love seeing it. And again, I think this should have been in the game from launch. One of the things that I personally wanted out of these games because it's in the other Hoyo games. But like, we all know what it's for. It's so you can walk around as Jane Doe. Like, you don't need anything else besides more Jane Doe. And there's no further explanation besides that. But yeah, W change, keep it coming, Hoyoverse. It is unfortunate to say that the full iteration of this won't be available in version 1.2 as stated in the live stream, is that we will only have access to the 2 MCs and I believe just Bernace and Caesar. So unfortunately, as of version 1.2, we won't have all characters accessible. However, they did state that by version 1.4, all characters will be added to the list of walkable characters in the city. I presume this means all characters will be added by version 1.3, but I'm sure there's going to be a few that are probably left out until version 1.4. But yeah, awesome change, and yeah, shout out to those who actually want to walk around as the characters, right? I mean, that's basically everybody. Change number 8, changing the time of day at any time. Okay, I know this one may seem like I'm trying to fill slots just to get it a complete list of 10, but seriously, it's a good change. I feel like the original implementation of the time system was to make it feel more like classic JRPGs or those of like the Persona series, and that people would be more familiar with that if they've played those games, where time is a limited resource. However, this is a gacha game and the time restriction is more so on the energy or stamina system that the game uses. And as well as in terms of how other things are designed in the game, it's not really the case, right? You've got unlimited time, unlike in those other games, where it's a part of their systems to actually be set against specific days and so on. Being able to change time freely is fantastic for those trying to get certain quests done, or those trying to get certain character interactions done, like the, character trust events. There's pretty much no reason to have not include this at the launch of the game, but it is what it is. And having lockouts before on quests and stuff was just really annoying. I don't know if they're going to keep up with this, but getting kicked out of the HIA after doing like 3 runs of, one of the domains is really annoying, personally, but let's see how this plays out in the future. Hopefully this is something they are considering on changing, as I'd like to just sit in there all day and basically farm it if I can. It's good to see this feature being added because it's just going to allow us to not get locked out due to missing a character's time or messing up something again due to the fact that we just didn't have time of day to be able to do the quest, and or we forgot to advance forward because we're too lazy. Again, it also prevents us from having to go back to the shop to lay on the bed to actually change time. Change number 9. This one's great for all those content creators out there and people that just want to mess around the mode, but we've got new training options, and this is honestly one of my favorite ones as well. I like doing this. Finally, the training mode will be able to activate unlimited ultimates whenever he wants and have unlimited assist points. This is something that not a lot of players are going to get the most use out of, but at least for content creators or people that want to try out new combos, this is fantastic. I for one know I'll be getting a lot of use out of this, and hopefully you will too, knowing that it is now a feature. It's great to see that they're expanding in different areas of the game like this, and hopefully they add even more features to the training ground, like having multiple enemies and or selecting the actual fight compositions that we have. I can only dream of having 20 Thanatos in front of me teleporting around while I'm trying to test out how much I can block with Caesar. And for the final change number 10, they added Vampire Survivors, guys, / Hollow here. Let's go! This is the game that we want, guys. This is what we want right here. Peakless Zone 0. Seriously though, this final change isn't like a joke. Like, having new mini games I think is fantastic. It expands on the game's world and also expands on stuff we can do in the game and give us a little more fun to do, right? I think it's cool to have. And yep, that's right, crazy thing, mind blown. There's a game within the game. Whoa. But seriously, I do think adding these games are, cool and stuff that should be added, but like obviously not the main content of the update. Unless of course there's gonna be some like mini event related to it, but that's that's here and there. It's nothing really too crazy. And obviously this isn't for everybody, right? But I do, as I've been saying, I think it's pretty cool, and we'll definitely get some good play time out of this. If you don't like that I've chosen this for my number 10, that's fine. I'll throw in this one for you as a little bonus. They've added some new quality of life features to the disk drive screens, allowing you to see more of your stats and what stats are actually upped by your disk drives instead of just the 4-piece bonuses, which is pretty cool. Additionally, there's going to be options for us to see which are the recommended skills to level up on a character, which is going to make it easier for newer players to get into the game and actually understand which characters want what skills. Which, again, it's cool. Nothing that I really think is here, but from what I've heard, it's a pretty good feature as of right now. So hopefully this helps you in the actual game. And well, that's going to be it for the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitch. You might have seen the little like button on a computer glow right there. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Let me know in the comment section below how far you got in the video. Or, well, first off, you should have watched the whole thing over here. But also, what is your favorite change? Because I think they're all great. And let me know if there's a change you thought I missed or should have included in this list. But I've been Gold Demon, and I'll see you guys in the next one.